Hey folks, Pat Deegan here. You know, sometimes folks ask me, hey Pat, how can we be supportive or helpful to a person who's experiencing delusions? And in terms of beginning to answer that question, because it's a complex question, I start by pointing out that the term delusion, although it's used clinically, is not really a helpful term to use when working with somebody who has troubling beliefs. And I prefer that way to think about things and to talk with individuals because it creates some common ground. So if I'm feeling very convinced that I am needing to save the world, or if I'm feeling very convinced and I'm strongly believing that what I need to do is to escape surveillance from cars that are passing by, it is not helpful to be told that's a delusion. The second thing that's very helpful, I think, is to frame it as a troublesome belief, because I can get on board with that. It's like, okay, I'm having this belief that's making it really, really hard to rest or to get sleep or to be able to be with people that I care about or to do any of the things that I enjoy or to go to work. The frame of troublesome belief, I think, is one where we can find common ground with the individual. And the third thing I like to remember is it can be exhausting to struggle with these very often fearful, troublesome beliefs. And that one place that we can certainly meet the person is not necessarily arguing whether or not about the veracity of the belief, but rather knowing that the person may feel tired, may feel sick and tired of being afraid all the time. And we can offer to work with a person to help them identify what I call an island of safety, an island of safety. And I use this personal medicine card to support people. On the front of the card, it says, when I'm experiencing troublesome beliefs, being in crowds makes me feel unsafe. Being around plants helps me feel safer. It can be helpful to identify what makes us feel safe or unsafe when we're experiencing troubling beliefs. Then we can choose to surround ourselves with the people and or things that help us feel safe. But of course, because it's personal medicine, we're going to flip the card over and personalize this approach. So the card asks, what makes me feel safe? What makes me feel unsafe? And I say people watching me or being too close to me, and also news of the deportations in the United States. Well, what makes me feel safe? Well, being in my room with my noise reduction headset on, no news. I shut off my phone and take it off the satellite, and I focus on beading jewelry. So therefore my island of safety means being alone in my room, but also going straight to work and back home again with no stops. I can get a coffee at work instead of stopping, and also knowing that I can text my peer specialist if I'm getting too scared really helps. And so creating an island of safety for people experiencing troubled beliefs is a great and affirming way to begin to help them take charge of their experience. Have a good one.